Hey, this is Booth's B-Ball Breakdown. What's that right there? Whole lot of gray hair. I guess I got that because I'm in the process of wisdom. And that's where B-Ball Breakdown comes from. Wisdom is how I use my knowledge, how I manifest it to those. I think the more that you squeeze out and you give to people is the more that you're allowed to come in. If you do not share what God has given you, what you've experienced, what you've saw, then guess what? Then your brain becomes full, tight, and you cannot process new stuff. So I'm in the wisdom phase of my life, and that's where B-Ball Breakdown comes through. So let's talk a little bit about some wisdom and the knowledge. Now, a lot of people are taking sports data and using that data in an analytical way. They're looking at how fast you jump, how high you jump. They're measuring how quick you get from point A to point Z, your free throw percentage, field goal percentage in certain situations. All that is nothing but data. And data is just raw textual information, if you will, and not really information, but just data, context. And the only way you could turn that data into information is that you have to now take the raw data and do some sort of analysis. So now data is either quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative data is, numbers, right? How many of this? How long did it take? Qualitative data is this. That's that experience. And then that's that wisdom of having been there, having experienced it, and being able to, get a feel for how people are doing, through your observation, through your experiences. You can say, hey, that player has done X, Y, and Z. So let me give you an example from a basketball perspective. Quantitatively, I can say that a point guard that has 20 possessions in a game and that has turned the ball over one time has a 20-to-1 ratio from possessions to turnover ratio. I can also say in 20 possession, 10% of those possessions led to a jump shot. 15% of those possessions were a drive to the basket. That's all quantitative data. Don't tell you nothing, but just statistically, this is what that person did. Now, when you get to qualitative data, I can say, well, he drove right on those 15%. He don't have a left hand. Or he only gave up 5 opportunities for somebody to get a shot. So he's not being efficient. He ain't getting the ball to people in the way that they can score. He turned it over one time, over 20 possessions. He takes care of the ball. He's a good ball handler. That's qualitative. And I base that on experience, and I base that on the fact that I played the position and all that. But then there's further stuff that isn't accounted for. That's only one game. So what if he played against another team and didn't have the same results? I can't make the same assumptions at the end of the day because guess what? It's about who he played against, what was the level of the game, who his opponent was, did he get any sleep last night, did he eat the right proper meal? So there's a lot of variables and factors that go into performance. So you can't just say the numbers don't lie. You just can't say, because I experienced it this way, this is what I expected that person to do. So when you take all this information, qualitative and quantitative data, then you have to make a subjective decision. And the subjective decision is based on how I feel and what the situation is before me. So that's just a little bit of insight on data analysis. You gotta take data and you gotta play with it. But at the end of the day, I personally look at the qualitative aspects of a person with grays in their hair or a person who has lost all their hair because they bring wisdom, because we've played the game. We've been in those scenarios. I can tell when somebody's going hard. I can tell when somebody's checked out mentally. I can tell when somebody's not being a good teammate. I can tell about all those different things because of experience and knowledge now manifested to wisdom through Booth's B-Ball Breakdown. I know that was a lot. It's pretty deep, but that's what it's about. It's about breaking it down. Talk to you soon.